I've been working on my temperature blanket some more. I've finished January and February, and now I'm going to continue on to March. I did up to March the 6th. These are the pretty colors that have been popping in and out of the blanket. As you can see, the warmer temperatures, the pretty yellows, like all the colors are pretty, but as you can see, it's fascinating how the warmer weather wants to come out of the temperature world, and then it goes back to cooler temperatures. So for now, we're going to continue working, and the temperature's been topsy-turvy again. So this is going to be a surprise at what colors we're going to be using. The frequent colors as of right now is the greens and the yellows. So let's continue knitting and see what colors come forth through the next days, which will be March the 7th to the 26th. So let's get started on the Temperature Blanket 2024, and let's get knitting our daily rows and see what colors will form as we go. All right, everyone, happy knitting, and let's get started. All right, let's go to the knitting screen. This is absolutely exciting. Everything's exciting. We want our colors to pop as we're working this out, and I'm trying to, the lens to the fabric, to the knitting, to the yarn tends to look a little different on this camera, but that's basically precise right now. That mustard, the varsity yellow. All right. I am now on March the 7th to knit my rows and continue on the Temperature Blanket 2024. The temperature for March the 7th is 63 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to be using a varsity yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and add on my yellow, March the 7th. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and knit row 1 all the way across, varsity yellow. All right, and I'm going to tie this once, and then when I come back, that's when I'll do my second tie, and I'll have my knot. So just knit all the way across, varsity yellow, March 7th. I am near the end of row 1, March 7th, varsity yellow, garter knit stitch, just knitting to the end. And I am going to continue knitting the second row all the way across. Just continue knitting, and then I'm going to start my new day. Just going to go ahead and knit all the way across. I'm just finishing up row 2, March 7th, 63 Fahrenheit. All right, tie my knot. And now I'm going to start my new day. Varsity green. We're getting our yellows and greens again. I am on March 8th. I'm going to go ahead and cut off that yarn. Varsity yellow. I am adding on varsity green, March 8th, 55 Fahrenheit. March 8th, 55 Fahrenheit, adding on varsity green. And I'm going to knit all the way across for row 1. Just knit all the way across. Tie once for the knot, and then when I come back, I'll tie it again. There we go. Just knitting all the way across. My greens and yellows. Knitting row 1 all the way across. I'm finishing up row 1, March 8th, 55 Fahrenheit, varsity green. I'm going to continue knitting the green all the way across for row 2. Knitting all the way across. I'm just knitting to the end of row 2, March 8, 55 Fahrenheit. Varsity green. Okay, secure the end, tie another knot. And now I'm ready to start on my new day. March 9th, 43 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity blue. I'm going to go ahead and add on varsity blue. I'm going to start knitting row 1 for March 9th. Okay. Just going to tie this once, and when I come back, I'll tie it again. I'm going to continue knitting row 1, varsity blue, all the way across. March 9th, 43 Fahrenheit, varsity blue. I'm just finishing up row 1. Now I'm going to knit row 2 all the way across. Just knitting all the way across, varsity blue. I'm just knitting the rest of the second row, March 9th, 43 Fahrenheit, varsity blue. Just knitting all the way to the end, row 2. March 9th, 43 Fahrenheit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tie my knots. And now I'm going to start a new day. I am working on March 10th, and that is also 43 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to continue knitting row 1, varsity blue, all the way across. So I didn't have to change my yarn. I'm knitting all the way across, March 10th. All right, March 10th, 43 Fahrenheit, varsity blue. I'm finishing up row 1, just knitting to the end. And now I'm going to start on my second row. And I'm going to knit all the way across. I'm just finishing up row 2, March 10th, 43 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity blue yarn. Okay. Now I'm on to my new day. All right. I'm on March the 11th. I'm going to cut off my varsity blue. 52 Fahrenheit. I'm going to add varsity green, March the 11th. I'm going to knit row 1 all the way across. Right, I'm going to tie once and then I'll tie again when I come back. I'm knitting all the way across for row 1, varsity green. I'm near the end of row 1, March 11th, 52 Fahrenheit, varsity green. Just finishing knitting row 1. Now I'm going to knit row 2, March the 11th, and I'm going to knit all the way across in varsity green, 52 Fahrenheit. Knit all the way across. I'm finishing up row 2, March 11th, 52 Fahrenheit, varsity green. I'm going to go ahead and double knot now. And now I'm ready to start my new day. All right, I am on March 12th. I'm going to cut off the varsity green. March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to add mustard. March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit, just adding on the mustard. Going to knit all the way across for row 1. I'm going to tie my knot once, and when I come back, I'll tie it again. So I'm going to knit all the way across. I'm just finishing up row 1, March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit. I'm using mustard for the color of the yarn. And I'm just going to finish up row 1. Now I'm going to continue knitting March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit. Row 2, knitting all the way across till I get to the end. Just going to continue knitting garter knit stitch all the way across. March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit. I'm just finishing up row 2. I'm just going to continue knitting in a garter knit stitch all the way to the end. March 12th, 70 Fahrenheit. Mustard is the yarn color. Just knitting all the way to the end. I'm going to knot this a second time. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I am on March 13th. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the mustard. March 13th is 72 Fahrenheit. Varsity orange. I'm going to go ahead and add on the varsity orange. And I'm going to knit row 1 all the way across. Knit all the way across. Varsity orange, March 13th, 72 Fahrenheit. All right, 72 Fahrenheit, March 13th, varsity orange, knitting all the way across row 1. March 13th, I'm using varsity orange, 72 Fahrenheit. I'm just finishing up row 1. And now I'm going to go ahead and knit row 2, varsity orange, knit all the way across 72 Fahrenheit, March 13th. Just knit all the way across. I'm almost done. May the 13th, 72 Fahrenheit. Finishing up row 2, varsity orange. Garter knit stitch, just knitting the rest of the row. All right, I'm going to tie my knot to secure the end. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I'm on March the 14th, 75 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to continue knitting with Varsity Orange. So I'm going to knit row 1, March 14th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm going to continue knitting all the way across for row 1. Continue knitting all the way across. March 14th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm using a Varsity Orange yarn, Garter knit stitch. I'm almost done row 1, just knitting to the end. I'm going to continue knitting row 2 all the way to the end. March 14th, just continue knitting all the way to the end. March 14th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm using Varsity Orange. I'm finishing up row 2 of March the 14th. Garter knit stitch. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I'm on March 15th, temperature 69 Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the Varsity Orange. I'm going to add mustard. March 15th, we're adding the mustard. We're just going to knit row 1 all the way across. And I'm going to tie this once. And continue knitting all the way across. I'm almost done knitting. March the 15th, 69 Fahrenheit. I'm using the color mustard. Row 1 is almost done. Now I'm going to continue on for March the 15th. I'm going to continue knitting row 2. And I'm just going to knit all the way across. March 15th, 69 Fahrenheit. I'm using mustard for the color of yarn. I'm just finishing up row 2, knitting to the end. I'm going to secure my ends. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I'm on March the 16th, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the mustard. Cutting the yarn off. The temperature is 63 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to add on Varsity Yellow. March 16th, adding on Varsity Yellow for row 1. And I'm going to continue knitting all the way across for row 1. Tie it once, and then I'll tie it when I come back again. And I'll just continue knitting all the way across. March 16th, 63 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity yellow. I'm finishing up row 1, knitting to the end. And now I'm going to continue knitting row 2 all the way across, varsity yellow, March the 16th. Continue knitting all the way across. I'm on March the 16th, 63 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity yellow. I'm just finishing up row 2. I'm going to knot this end. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I'm on March the 17th, and the temperature for that day is 63 Fahrenheit also. I'm going to use varsity yellow, keep it going. So I'm going to continue knitting in varsity yellow, row 1, knit all the way across. Just going to continue knitting in varsity yellow all the way across. March the 17th. I'm just finishing up row 1, March 17th, 63 Fahrenheit, varsity yellow. And now I'm going to continue knitting in varsity yellow for March 17th all the way across. Row 2, knitting in a garter knit stitch all the way across. March 17th, I'm finishing row 2, varsity yellow, 63 Fahrenheit. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I am on March the 18th. I'm going to cut off the varsity yellow. March 18th temperature was 45 Fahrenheit. I'm going to add on dark teal. As you can see, it's trying to warm up, but now we're going back to the cooler colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add on the dark teal. I'm going to knit row 1 all the way across. Tie my knot just once. And I'm just going to continue knitting all the way across. March the 18th, 45 Fahrenheit. I'm using dark teal, row 1, knitting to the end, just finishing up row 1. Now I'm going to knit all the way across with the dark teal, March 18th. I'm going to knit all the way to the end. I'm just knitting the rest of row 2 for March the 18th. 45 Fahrenheit, dark teal. Just finishing the second row all the way to the end. I'm going to knot my end, tie it in a knot. And now I'm going to start my new day. I'm on March the 19th, 49 Fahrenheit. I'm going to cut off my yarn, cutting off the dark teal. And now I'm going to add on forest green for March the 19th. So for row 1 of March the 19th, add on the green, the forest green. I'm going to go ahead and tie this once, tie the ends once. And I'm going to continue knitting all the way across in forest green. March the 19th, I'm finishing up row 1 using forest green. Temperature was 49 Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to knit all the way across for row 2 for March the 19th. 49 Fahrenheit, knitting all the way across in forest green. March 19th, 49 Fahrenheit, I'm finishing up the second row, forest green. I'm going to go ahead and tie my second knot. And now I'm going to start my new day. March 20th, 62 Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my forest green. I'm going to go ahead and add on varsity yellow for March 20th, and I'm going to knit my first row all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and just knot that once, and I'm going to continue knitting all the way across March 20th. All right, I'm finishing up row 1, March 20th. The temperature is 62 Fahrenheit, varsity yellow. March 20th, I'm going to continue knitting for my second row, varsity yellow, 62 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to knit my second row all the way to the end. Just going to keep knitting. March 20th, 62 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity yellow. I'm just finishing up row 2, knitting near the end to complete my row. March 20th. Right, I'm going to tie a second knot. At the end. And now I'm going to start my new day. I'm on March the 21st, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the varsity yellow. March 21st, 47 Fahrenheit, so we're going back to the dark teal. I'm going to go ahead and add the teal. And I'm going to continue knitting all the way across for row 1. Secure this once. And I'm going to knit all the way to the end. Dark teal, March 21st. March 21st, I'm finishing up row 1, dark teal, 47 Fahrenheit. And now I'm going to continue on with the dark teal, knitting all the way across for row 2. I'm going to knit all the way across. March the 21st, 47 Fahrenheit, dark teal. I'm just finishing the second row. Garter knit stitch, knitting all the way to the end. Tie my second knot. And now I'm ready to knit my new day. I'm on March 22nd. March 22nd, 51 Fahrenheit. I'm going to cut off the dark teal and I'm going to add the forest green. March 22nd, 51 Fahrenheit. I'm adding on the forest green. I'm going to knit all the way across for row 1. And I'm going to tie this once. And I'm going to continue knitting all the way across. I'm finishing up row 1, March the 22nd, 51 Fahrenheit. I'm using the forest green. I'm going to knit all the way across for row 2, March the 22nd. And I'm just going to knit all the way across, all the way to the end. So yesterday, I streamed March, what was it, the 7th? Yeah. So I streamed, and it's 2 rows per day. This is why it takes a little longer. So I streamed March the 7th and the 22nd. This is I was almost done the 22nd. I was almost done. But I was streaming knitting for 6 hours. This morning, I want to get the rest of this done. All right. So here's from January to March the 22nd, and I could do better by finishing the row to show you what it's looking like. But here you could see it was 74 Fahrenheit in January. And then as you could see, all the brighter colors, the temperature's trying to get warmer. Oh, wait, here's another cool day. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's some more. Oh, well, and then we go down a bit. So, yeah. The colors are absolutely fabulous. The combination, like, when it comes to knitting, I like to be strategic in the color combinations, but I will have to say the surprises of the color combinations are looking absolutely fabulous. You know, it's a different kind of color combination because you're not enforcing how you want the pattern to be. The pattern's just saying, hi, I'm here. Today was this temperature. This is the color you're taking today. So I find this absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited. I don't want the year to go fast, 2024, but I will have to say it's going pretty fast. March, I'm catching up. We are March 27th. So if you think you're falling behind when you're doing anything temperature related to a knitting project, don't feel that way, because I literally did March the 1st to the 6th, near the end and the beginning of March. I had finished up my February, and then I started my March from the 1st to the 6th. So yesterday, the 26th, I pulled out the knitting and I streamed March the 7th, and I'm almost done March 22nd. So that's when I was streaming, but I was getting up and down and eating and taking some breaks, was about 6 hours, because it's 2 rows per day. So, but I was also streaming. So that just gives you an idea of how long it could possibly take. And it gives you an idea how to break it down. If you want to do it every day, you can. If you want to break it down in various days, it just gives you an idea how to plan. If you like to plan your knitting, how to plan how you want to do it and how you want to break it down as you go. Or you may skip an entire month and then start knitting it in the following month. But since I stream it quite a bit, I like to actually stay up to date if I can on it. All right, so that's the progress of my temperature blankets. I'm gonna continue on, and I'm gonna knit day 22, March 22nd. So let's get started on the knitting for the rest of the days of March. Okay, so I am going to finish out the 22nd. The 22nd was 51 Fahrenheit, and I'm using the forest green. Just continuing on to get this done. I'm just finishing up March 22nd, 51 Fahrenheit. I'm using the forest green. I'm finishing up the second row, just knitting all the way to the end. And now I'm ready to start my new day. Now I'm on March 23rd. The temperature is 47 Fahrenheit. And now I'm going to add dark teal. We're back to the dark teal. Okay, so for my first row, March 23rd, I'm adding on dark teal, temperature 47 Fahrenheit. Let's add that on. We're going to knit all the way across. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tie this quick to secure it. Tie it once. And I'll continue knitting my first row for my day. All right, March 23rd, 47 Fahrenheit. I'm using dark teal. I'm just finishing up row 1 for March 23rd. Knitting to the end. And now I'm going to start row 2. I'm going to knit all the way across for my second row. March 23rd, 47 Fahrenheit, dark teal. I'm just finishing my second row, just knitting to the end. I'm going to go ahead and double knot the ends to secure it. And now I'm going to start my new day. I am starting on March 24th, and the temperature is also 47 Fahrenheit. I'm going to leave the teal, the dark teal, and I'm going to go ahead and start knitting row 1 in dark teal, March 24th. Just going to knit all the way across, row 1. It's always fun when you don't have to change the yarn out. March 24th, 47 Fahrenheit. I'm finishing up row 1. I'm using dark teal. I'm just knitting all the way to the end. And now I'm going to continue knitting row 2, dark teal, March 24th. And I'm just going to continue knitting all the way to the end. March 24th, 47 Fahrenheit, dark teal. I'm knitting to the end of row 2. Knitting all the way to the end, just finishing this row up. And since it was from the previous day, I don't have to tie my knot. Now I'm ready to start my new day. I'm on March the 25th, 54 Fahrenheit. So I went ahead and cut the dark teal off. And now I'm going to start on March 25th with varsity green. I'm going to start knitting row 1 with varsity green. All right, I'm going to add that on, and I'm going to continue knitting all the way across for my new day. And I'm just going to tie this once. And I'll continue knitting all the way across. March 25th, 54 Fahrenheit. I'm finishing row 1. I'm using varsity green, and I'm knitting all the way to the end. Now I'm going to continue knitting row 2, varsity green, and I'm going to knit all the way to the end. March 25th, 54 Fahrenheit. I'm using Varsity Green. I'm finishing up row 2 of the Varsity Green. And I'm going to tie my knot to secure it. And now I'm going to start my new day. I'm on March the 26th. The temperature is 57 Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and take the Varsity Green off. I just cut that off. And now for 57 Fahrenheit, I'm going to use light green. We're using a whole new color in the color combinations of the temperature. This is so exciting. All right, so I'm just going to add this on for row 1, March 26th, 57 Fahrenheit. Let's add on the light green. And we're going to tie a knot. And I'm going to continue knitting for row 1 all the way across with my light green. This is so exciting. I love the colors. I'm so excited how this is turning out. All right, we're on to newer colors. Let's go. Knitting all the way across, March 26th. March the 26th, 57 Fahrenheit. We're using light green, and I'm just knitting to the end of row 1. Knitting all the way to the end. And now I'm going to continue knitting row 2 all the way to the end with the light green. March 26th, just knit all the way to the end. March 26th, 57 Fahrenheit, light green. I'm almost done knitting row 2. Just knitting to the end. And then I'm going to secure my knot. March 26th, we added a new color. So I have completed March 7th to March 26th in a few days. I completed more of the temperature blankets. Here is the progress from January, February, March 26th. And as you can see, the temperature wants to get warmer. We had January, 74 Fahrenheit. And then as we go, the temperature keeps fluctuating. So we keep going back to the cool colors, going back to some warmer colors. Absolutely fascinating. It's a surprise for every color. Every temperature is just random for colors as we knit, and it makes a fabulous pattern. And now we added on light green for 57 Fahrenheit for March 26th. So now we're getting into newer colors. And it looks fabulous. This is 2 rows per day. So we have quite a bit of length happening in this blanket. Looks absolutely fabulous. All right, everyone. Happy knitting, and see everyone next time. Bye for now.